Hello and welcome to Shop Talk with Dan the Man. In today's video we're going to talk about this. This is Ridgid's cordless oscillation tool, and this is a 2-year review. Normally I do 1-year reviews, but I've had this tool for about 2 years now, so I just wanted to run by the ownership of this, what I've done with this, and then pros and cons, and then we'll jump into some final thoughts.
Hello, if you're new to this channel, my name is Dan Shannon. I enjoy woodworking as a hobby and being out in the shop. On this channel, dive deep into my shop as we explore tools and tool reviews, as well as chatting about everything related to woodworking. If this grabs you by the tool belt, please subscribe to my channel if you want more videos like this.
Hello and welcome to Shop Talk with Dan the Man. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, thanks for coming back. Today's video we're going to just talk about this. This is a tool I've owned for about 2 years now. This is Ridgid's cordless oscillation tool, model number R86241B. And this is their 18 volt variable speed. I have a video I did of this, the full review, the features, what it has to offer, and the capabilities. You can check out that video right here. So today we're just going to dive into this tool. During the past 2 years, what I've used this for, and then we're going to jump into some pros, then some cons, and then some final thoughts. So in the last couple of years, what have I used this for? Well, a lot of times you have decks on your house, and over time the boards will rot out and you have to replace them. So this is a great tool I've used to cut the rotted deck out. So you go where the floor joist is, find out where that center line is of your board, and then you just use a wood blade for this tool, and you can change the angle of this blade depending on your cut. And you just go and cut out the old board, pop it out, and replace it with a new one. So that was one thing I use this tool for. The other thing I use this tool for is flooring cuts. A lot of times if you've done flooring, maybe you're not new to flooring, but if you've done it at any length of time, this tool is worth its weight in gold. Cutting different spots, so say you get into an angled corner or even a corner that goes close to a door frame, you have to use a tool to cut that weird edge. So you line it with your pencil, get your exact size, measurement, etc., and then this tool works wonders for that. And also, speaking of flooring, you run into your door jamb. So when you have your door casing, your door jamb, you need to cut away the base so you can slide your flooring underneath to make it nice and suitable for a great installation. This tool came in handy for that as well. I also did some window trim. So I was doing a casing on my kids' tree house, did the top, side border, and then the bottom. But then I also put a sill in there in order to cut in the corners really nice. I could use this tool. You can also use a jigsaw if you want, but this tool seemed to work at that time a little bit nicer, be able to get into those corners really well. I also actually, funny thing is, I use this for pumpkin carving. So my kids had a couple pumpkins for Halloween. They wanted to carve a face on it. So I just grabbed this tool, put on a certain blade. You can change the variable speed. So I was able to go in, cut out the mouth, the eyes, the nose, with this tool, no problem. So that was another cool thing I was able to do over the last couple years with this. And also it has a sanding attachment. You can get a kit like this that has all different types of cutting tools, whether it's wood, metal. They even have some sanders that you can remove rust off of metal Grout lines, if you're doing tiling and your grout needs to come out, there's some grout tools you can use. So it's kind of a multi-purpose tool. That's what it's designed for. So that's basically why I bought it. And they still sell it today, so it's not a tool model that has been refreshed. They still sell this at Home Depot and other stores. You can find this for sale. So it's not something that's really old. Even though I've had it for a couple of years, you can still go to your store and purchase. Well, let's jump into the pros and see what that's all about. So, pros. Okay, so I have a list of pros that I found with this oscillating tool to be a big bonus when using it for the last couple of years. And the biggest one is the change of the blade. Just want to remove the battery. This just pops up, no problem. And then your bottom piece just slides to the side and twists up, and then you remove your blade. Very quick, very easy to change over for your blades. I really enjoy that, how slick Ridgid did that. And then of course you can just slide it back in place and then just snap it, done, and then put your battery back on. So very fast, very efficient blade change. There's nothing weird about it. The previous model had kind of like a mouse trap thing that snapped down. That was kind of annoying, but with this particular unit, very smooth, very quick transition. I know Milwaukee has a different type of blade swap. All the manufacturers kind of have their own version of this, but I do like Ridgid's version. I wouldn't say the best, but it definitely works well in this case. The other thing I enjoy is the variable speed. Now, you might say, well, you know, what would be the point of variable speed? Well, I did use it on a few projects where the speed definitely impacted my cutting. So as you can see here on the wall, I have this paneling and I had to cut out for my electrical outlets. There's one there behind my level. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I had to cut out that for the electrical box. So I was able to slow this down so to 1, which is very slow. And you can get in very close to the edge, but if you use, say, number 6 speed, very loud, very fast, it could actually eat up the material a lot faster and create a very horrible cut. So the variable speed is definitely a big thing on this tool that I enjoy, depending of course on the project that I'm doing. The other thing I enjoy about this is the different attachments when it comes to the job. So you have a situation where you run it into, say, sanding. Pardon me, with my lights, I have a light that's going out or on its way out. It's kind of flickering in the background. Apologize for that. So here's a kit you can get from Home Depot, and basically it has a bunch of different types of blades, has the information on the blade. You can see there, this is wood, and then you get into grout lines. So I was mentioning there before the grout lines, and then of course back up here we get into wood. So depending on what you're doing, this is actually a scraper blade. So you can do that for the attachment. Get lots of different attachments for this tool, so making it even more useful depending on what you come across. So I love that about this oscillation tool, is you can customize your blades and your projects. There is a sanding attachment. It's not in this case right now, but there is an attachment you can get for that. And also, it's good to note when it comes to the sanding attachment, the piece you put on here takes Velcro, little triangle pads. They snap on real easy, and then when you're done with them, you can rip them off, put a new one on, and carry on with that. So if you get into general sanding, palm sanders, etc., sometimes they can't get into tight corners, And with this tool, since you have a triangle sanding plate on it, you can go right into the edge. So I just want to go over a few of the pros with you on this tool. So let's jump now into the cons. So every tool is not perfect. So let's jump into the cons and with this tool. Cons. Okay, so the first con I might say, and this is nitpicking a little bit, you know, yeah, it's not a big thing, but at the same time, it's something to consider, is balance. So right now, I got a 2 amp hour, balances really well. I can hold kind of the center. Doesn't feel like I'm from up or from down. It can, you know, balance awkwardly, or the weight's pulling the tool this way or that way. But when you put on a bigger battery, 4 amp hour, you do see the size difference. And of course, that'll change the weight. So it's very bottom heavy here. So if I go to tip it up, it wants to pull down. And if I'm cutting above my head, it's a lot heavier. So that is something to consider, the balance portion of the tool. Now, me personally, and when I use it, I go with the 2 amp hour. Yes, you don't get as long of a run time, but you do have that balancing and that weight to factor in comparison. So yes, longer run time, more weight. And I think with this particular tool, you want that maneuverability just because of the design of this tool and how you need to get into different angles. So once again, it's my own thoughts on that. The other thing that's a con, I would say, is the blade replacement. Now, it's not so much the replacement, because I did say that was a pro. In this case, it's the angle of the blade. So if you notice here on the bottom, there is a metal bracket, and the metal bracket actually is perpendicular. So if you install the blade on a different angle, which I thought originally when I got this I could, so say I wanted it up and down this way, and I wanted to cut, you know, a 90 degree, well, when I put this metal plate back down and I go to push it in place, as you can see there, I don't know how good of an angle that is. You can tell that the bottom, or the back rather, cutout is not underneath that. So in that case, when you lock it in, it won't fully lock in because the back side is not held down. So I was using this and I noticed the vibration, since the entire plate of the blade is not held down. It will rub eventually and fall off the tool. So I wasn't a big fan of that. I like the quick release system. But once again, if you look at the blade, I can show it there up close. You'll notice that there is a cutout in the back. So you can't do it at this angle exactly, or else it will become loose. So I don't know, it's a little bit nitpicking, but it's, you know, something I did note using this tool, and I just wanted to pass along. The other thing is the loudness. Now, every tool has higher decibels. If you get into a router, they're really loud. Table saw, you know, when you get into some of the sanders even, they can be a little bit loud. But if you notice this with this one, if I go to level 1, you know, it's not too bad. But as you creep up to level 6, so I'll go from 1 to 6, you'll notice the decibels will go really high. So in my opinion, that's really loud. I don't think it needs to be quite that loud, but it is what it is, and that is the decibel that they have for this tool. Has lots of power for that reason, but just yet again, just really loud for the tool. All right, let's go into some final thoughts and wrap this up. Final thoughts. Okay, so some final thoughts on this oscillation tool is it works great. I've never had any issue with it, It's always cut fine for me. Now, of course, over time, your blades will get dull. You do have to replace them. I wouldn't recommend having a blade where the teeth are all half gone. It's overheated. You can see that it's damaged. You want to make sure you always have a fresh blade. These kits do offer different types of blades and multiple blades. And by far the best performing blade that I've had, and this goes all across my tool lineup, is the Diablo or Freud. I just find them to be superior blades. Ridgid does have great blades, and when it comes to a pack like this, I got this at Christmas time on sale, and I think for the price point and quality, it is very good blade. Works very well, you know, from that perspective. But yeah, it just handles well, other than some of the cons, and I was being a little nitpickish there, but I do have to mention those things. You know, at the end of the day, you know, would this be a tool that would replace any other tool? And the answer is no. I wouldn't use this, say, over a circular saw. Cutting a sheet of plywood. I mean, you'd be all day using this. It's not really designed for that. And I do say about all the tools in your shop, right tool for the right job. You know, you never want to kind of weigh one versus the other, because they're used for two different purposes, and no different than this. It's you know, kind of multi-tool, they call it. So it's not good at just one thing. It's kind of good at a lot of different things, but it will never replace a circular saw, or when it comes to a jigsaw, you know, cutting thicker stock. If you're cutting through 1/2 inch or 1 inch piece of pine, obviously this would not be a tool for that. It's just too thick of stock. It's too slow. But in a pinch, I've used it for different things that were thicker, and it has performed, but it's not ideal. Overheats the machine, and it's not recommended. So yeah, at the end of the day, it cuts great. Another reason why I recommend this tool is it's quite precise when it comes to doing some smaller things. Now, what I mean by that, I mentioned earlier in the video, put my wood paneling, and I had to cut the squares out for my electrical boxes. This is very precise. I could drop it really close to the edge and run it along, take my time, follow the pencil mark, and then do the same on the other side. Whereas jigsaw, you'd have to do a pre-drilled hole, drop your blade in, and then go around and carve it out. So jigsaw does work well. Both tools kind of interchangeable a little bit that way, but for that purpose and the hole that I was cutting for the electrical, this was my tool of choice. And I do use it for, like I said in the list earlier, a lot of different things around the house. And another thing I will say is just the blade selection. Case like this, multi-tool blades, you have grouts that you need to get up, you have wood you need to cut, you got metal, you got to shave down some metal, so you can use the diamond coated sander in here. So all the way across the board, just a phenomenal tool from Ridgid, and it's cordless, so it's great for your lineup of cordless tools. You can just add it to the pile, and don't forget to register it. You have 90 days to get the LSA. That's very important. All my tools that are Ridgid, I register them online to get the lifetime service agreement. You can check out their website to get more details on that. For watching today's video, please give me a like, and if you haven't already and you'd like to be part of the Shop Talk family, please click on that subscribe link down below. We'll love to have you on board, and we talk about shop tool reviews, and we just dive into all things shop. It doesn't matter how big or how small your shop is, just get out and enjoy it. I will see you on the next one.